Welcome back to GDT Tech Reviews. In this video we are going to do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best mirrorless camera 2022. So let us get started and the review based on our studies and small research. If you have any personal suggestion, do let us know in the comment section. If you are for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon for more videos. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use to for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. So let's get started. The Sony A7 III has a design that's similar to its more expensive cousins. The magnesium alloy body is fairly light but also ensures durability for long-term use. The outer covering of plastic and rubber feels premium, and the hand grip is of a comfortable size. The body is also designed to resist dust and moisture. You get a good number of customizable buttons, C1, C4, that are spread out across the back and top panels. Besides these, you can also remap the functions of the labeled shortcut buttons, giving you more flexibility. We like the placement and feel of the buttons, which have a soft tactile response and don't make any sound. You also get a jog dial at the back for shifting the focus point. Alternately, you can use the touchscreen at the back to set the focus point, even when looking through the electronic viewfinder, EVF. The Sony A7 III has no inbuilt flash, so you'll have to use an external one through the hot shoe. It features 2 dials on the top, one to change shooting modes and another for exposure compensation. The 0.5-inch OLED EVF has a resolution of 2.3 million dots with a 0.78x magnification. The refresh rate is fixed and can't be changed. Plus, the resolution is a bit on the lower side, so objects viewed through the EVF don't look very sharp. You also get a tiltable 3-inch LCD with a 921K dot resolution and touch support for focusing and zooming in on your subjects. Brightness is good and we didn't have any trouble using the screen under sunlight. The Canon EOS M50 Mark II is a puzzling one. It's a feature-rich camera by itself, but most of those specs are already available on the original EOS M50, with only a few added benefits to indicate it's an updated model. The M50 Mark II is identical to its predecessor, both internally and externally. What's new is all software-based and could be of great significance to up-and-coming content creators. There's the added benefit of eye detect autofocus for both stills and video, and the ability to shoot vertical videos for social media platforms. Another advantage the M50 Mark II offers over the older camera is a new video recording button available on the touchscreen, and a movie self-timer that gives you between 2 to 10 seconds to prepare yourself before the camera starts to record. If you happen to have over 1,000 YouTube subscribers, the M52 will also allow you to wirelessly live stream to YouTube. While its video prowess looks good on paper, the M52 suffers from the same heavy 1.5x crop for 4K video as its predecessor, and also uses a slower phase detect autofocus system that can be an issue if you're recording fast-moving subjects. Although the camera's IAF isn't as fast as, say, the Canon EOS R6, it is quite good for a camera that's been labeled as an entry-level model and works well for stills and 1080p video. It's a bit hit and miss while shooting in 4K. The Fujifilm X-T4 is the company's latest high-end photo and video APS-C mirrorless camera. It brings in-body stabilization, faster shooting, improved autofocus and a larger battery to the already very capable X-T3. Fujifilm says that the X-T4 is a sister model to the X-T3, rather than a replacement, which is borne out by the specs and pricing. It's a 26MP camera capable of 20fps shooting and 4K capture at up to 60p. In use we found it offers distinct benefits over both the X-T3 and the older X-H1. The X-T4's image quality is essentially the same as that of the X-T3, with the exception of the new color chrome effect blue processing option, 2 extra film simulation modes and a clarity processing parameter that applies large radius sharpening to give images more punch. The X-T4 features the same multi-shot HDR mode first introduced on the X Pro 3. This shoots, aligns and combines 3 images and tries to cancel out any movement that's occurred between them. To give itself leeway for alignment, the images are slightly cropped in and then upscaled back to 26MP, which results in a slight reduction in fine detail. The HDR mode has 5 settings, specified in the menus under Shooting Settings, Drive Setting, HDR mode. Sony's A6400 is a compact 24MP mirrorless interchangeable lens camera with an APS-C sensor that will serve plenty of photographers from family documentarians to pro shooters looking for a lightweight second body. The big news is that it has a new processor based on that used in Sony's sports shooting flagship A9, which enables real-time tracking autofocus, which is one of the most effective autofocus implementations we've yet seen. It's also among the easiest to use, once you've gotten it set up. One of the biggest handling updates for the A6400 is the touchscreen. To move your autofocus area on an A6000 or A6300, you had to hit a button to enable the four-way controller, which doubles, rather fussily, as a rear control dial, and click around. The ability to simply tap on the screen or use it as a touchpad with your eye to the finder makes the A6400 feel far more responsive when you're out shooting, even if the touchscreen's responsiveness isn't all that great. And somewhat ironically, this ease of moving the AF point around comes at a time when real-time tracking largely obviates the need to do so in the first place. This new screen also tilts up by 180 degrees to allow for vlogging, and Sony has certainly been pushing that as a use case for the A6400. But couple the lack of in-body stabilization with the fact that any hot shoe mounted microphone will block almost all of the screen. The Canon EOS R6 South African RAND is a 20MP full-frame mirrorless camera aimed at enthusiast photographers and videographers. It sits below the R5 much as the EOS R6DS did beneath the 5D DSLRs, and offers a well-rounded combination of features for both disciplines. It's also one of the first enthusiast-level cameras to shoot both stills and video that can exploit the capabilities of the latest high dynamic range displays. However, its tendency to hit its temperature limits take the edge off its video capabilities. The 6 South African RAND is built around a variant of the 20MP sensor originally seen in the EOS R3. Canon doesn't specify the difference, but there's noticeably no mention of the R6 using the expensive 16-point anti-aliasing filter from the flagship camera, which is a likely distinction. We'd expect the R6's AA filter to be the more conventional type. This sensor has already shown itself to be a solid performer, with decent, though not stellar, dynamic range and impressive readout speeds for stills and video capture. The sensor is combined with the Adigix X branded processor, which promises good things in terms of AF tracking performance, an area in which the 1DX3, in live view mode, excels. This combination of fast readout and abundant processing power helps underpin both the camera's autofocus and burst shooting capabilities. In mechanical shutter mode, the R6 can shoot at up to 12 frames per second, with full autofocus, while in electronic shutter mode it will match the 1DX3's top speed of 20 fps. The camera defaults to using its electronic first curtain shutter, EFCS, but you can choose fully electronic shutter for silent shooting or fully mechanical for high shutter speeds where EFCS can have detrimental impact on the bokeh in your images. There's no auto mode to make this switch for you, though,